Hi everyone, Jessica Broglie here. I just wanted to give you a brief update since you will not be having class face-to-face. It's an independent digital version of our course for the day. So I think you probably need some directions on what to do. So first of all, just like always, you open up our calendar and go to the objectives for the day. So we're talking about how is it useful to curate information online? How do you use social bookmarking? There are so many tools out there right now for social bookmarking. I think back to when I first started being a digital teacher. I used to bookmark everything in Internet Explorer and then complain vehemently when I had to switch computers because I'd have to learn how to export my bookmarks and then import them onto the new machine. And eventually that went away because social bookmarking came to life. So if you have ever bookmarked a bunch of stuff and then had your computer crash, you will like social bookmarking because you don't have to deal with that. Your links, your selections, your bookmarks are stored in the cloud. We do have options that's close to social bookmarking built into Google. Google Chrome lets you star things. You can star a favorite bookmark and then find that bookmark by clicking on our little stack of pancakes here and then bookmarks, but it is just not as good because you can only make files of stuff. You can't, um, it's not a social tool. I just make folders and keep it to myself. And yes, it does travel with me to any time I log into Google, including my phone or my iPad or my Nexus 7. But that's not what's so cool about social bookmarking. So what I'm going to ask you to do today is to watch the video that I've given you, and then read, by the end of the week, read Navigating Social. It's an excerpt from an educational leadership magazine. We'll be reading a lot of articles out of that. So I've given you the whole PDF. Don't print it. It's really big. Just go down to page 44 and read that one particular article. And it helps a lot if you take some notes, right? So when I ask you, what did you think? You actually remember, right? Just like me, if I go into Walmart with no list, I don't actually get what I'm supposed to. So take some notes, however you decide. I've given you a link to some Cornell note-taking method template. Just make sure you make a copy before you write on it, so we all don't see what you're writing, right? And then, of course, continue with the blogging challenge week 1. Several of you have already done that. That's awesome. Your blog should really start taking a life of its own and start forming stuff. Some students will post more than the week's requirement because they understand that this is your platform. This is your way of expressing and developing that professional digital footprint, sharing your ideas, connecting with others, learning new information. It can all be done via your blog as a reflection tool. So back to social bookmarking. The problem I have with social bookmarking is there are so many options out there. When I first started, I used a product called Delicious, and that has kind of faded now. And Digo, Pearl Trees, maybe Pinterest, EduClipper, there are lots out there. So I'm going to suggest that you pick Digo, um, Pearl Trees, my favorite, or I suppose Pinterest. But here's the deal. These three kind of do all this awesome piece. You can share your bookmarks between other users. That's what makes social bookmarking so perfect. So such a useful tool for teachers. So someday, let's say you're on a curriculum team where you're rewriting math curriculum for your grade level, and it's time to start collecting links. Well, way back in the day, we used to email links back and forth, which was very lame, but at the time that's all we had. Or worse yet, we'd write them down on paper. Now with social bookmarking, I can make my say 7th grade math folder of awesome links I want to share with students, and I can tag them, or I can add them or let people view and share them. In Pearl Trees, you pick pearls and you collaborate on pearls together. Each tool has its own use and its own features, and they don't quite use the same term. In Digo, we tag your bookmarks. In Pearl Trees, you put them on trees and they're pearls. In Pinterest, we make boards and then you share the boards with other Pinterest users. So all three of them kind of do the same thing. They just call them different, they have different terms for them. So your objective this week is to figure out how is it useful to curate information? How do you answer that question? Just like using Twitter or Nings or blogging. Thousands of teachers are doing it every single day. The same is true for social bookmarking. So it's really important for you guys to be able to collect things now. Imagine if you were taking a class and you decided to, hey, divide up the work, you're researching something together, and instead of each of you doing your own research, you can collaborate using these social bookmarking tools. And best yet, when you leave college, you have them. I love D2L, it's a great tool, but once you leave here, all of that stuff goes away. So all of those links you find in class, you should be bookmarking to whatever bookmarking tool you're going to use. So all three of those tools, Digo, Pearl and Pinterest, work on your smartphone or tablet, iPad, or Android platform. So that way, no matter where you are, you can access your favorites. I can honestly say I have gone back to Pearl even Digo, and I'll do a search for something that I know I saved like 2 years ago, and there it is, resurrected, and I can utilize that resource once again. So your goal this week is to read the one Navigating Social educational journal that I gave you, the one article, take some notes on it, have an opinion with it, maybe blog about it. That helps you. And then continue the week 1 blogging challenge. Okay, so there's 2 things. And then 3, I actually want you to make an account at one of those 3 social bookmarking tools. So Digo, Pearl or Pinterest, or if you have another one that you love, like EduClipper, a lot of teachers love that one. Go ahead and do that. And I'm going to ask you, what did you pick? And start practicing bookmarking. Send a bookmark to it and see what happens. And if you are up for it, collaborate with another person. There's no reason why you can't start working together on gathering these resources. That's what's so awesome about social bookmarking. So you have a lot to tackle before Thursday. As long as you make the social bookmarking account and start pinning or picking or whatever we call it in that tool, start putting bookmarks in there. Either that you gather in this class that you have the past 3 weeks or somebody else's class. It does not matter to me. It should be an all-inclusive, everything educational type of social bookmarking tool. So if you have questions, you're supposed to tweet them or email me. If you'd like to tweet them, just make sure you include the hashtag SOE4020.